I've now left the southern beaches of Sri Lanka behind and I've travelled an hour and a half north to a place called Udawalawe. This place is famous for its national park, which contains huge amounts of Asian elephants, but it's also said that it offers a safari experience which almost rivals African safaris. And I have to say, we went on a safari yesterday evening when we first arrived here from 3 till 6 in the afternoon, and I was blown away by it. It was a really, really good experience. We saw a really diverse range of animals, and we got up extraordinarily close to the elephants. They were really right next to our jeep. It kind of blew me away, actually. It was not entirely what I was expecting. It really surpassed my expectations. It was so good, in fact, that we're going to go out again this morning. So it's 5 in the morning at the moment. So we're going to head out from 6 till 9 and see how that pans out. Photographically speaking, the light conditions weren't great last night. We had some massive storms kind of rolling in which cut off all the light, so particularly from about 5 onwards it wasn't even really worth taking pictures. But I'm hoping this morning, in the clear morning skies, we'll get much better light conditions that are conducive to actually taking effective shots. But yeah, wildlife photography isn't really something that sits all particularly well with me. I'm not experienced in it, it's not my bread and butter, but who cares, it's all about the experience here. I'll just show you out behind. Can you hear that? The sounds of the wild. You always know you're somewhere exciting when you hear that. So yeah, I better get packing for the safari. My sunburn's really starting to hurt. What a dumbass tourist I am. Today, carrying around the camera bag has been like torture on my shoulders. It's been horrendous, but this is what you get for being an idiot. I should know better. But on a positive note, the second safari that we did in Udawalawe was superb. It really was. We probably saw less animals than we did the evening before, but the photographic conditions were so much better. The light was brilliant. And it made actually getting images far easier. I was still having to push the ISO numbers quite high in order to get shutter speeds that I was happy with exposure levels that I was happy with as well, because I've made that mistake before in safaris where I haven't had the shutter speeds quite quick enough, and it's led to a lack of sharpness in my images. So I made sure I corrected that this time. But with the actual gear that I've got, I think I did an okay job, but I'm not a wildlife photographer, so I probably haven't excelled anywhere near as much as I could have done. Ideally, I would have had more focal range at 400, 500 or 600 millimeters, and probably an f2.8 lens would have made a big difference as well. But yeah, I'm not too disappointed. The experience was exceptional, and it was almost on a par with some of the African safari experiences I've had, particularly the elephants in Udawalawe. You get so close to them. In fact, today we actually had an elephant trunk come into actual jeep looking for anything it could pick up. Quite a surreal experience, really, that will probably only sink in a few days' time. It's kind of one of those things that you take for granted when it actually happens. After our morning safari, we briefly popped into a nearby elephant orphanage, which was pretty cool. We then continued north into the mountains of Sri Lanka, stopping at a beautiful temple along the way. We've actually moved on to a new location now, so I'm in a place called Ella now, which is up in the highlands of Sri Lanka. and it feels almost like a totally different place. The air temperature is a lot cooler. It's probably about 10 degrees cooler here. The countryside is so lush and green. All the hillsides are plastered with tea plantations. It's really looking very promising here. We didn't actually see too much of it today. We arrived quite late. It was about 3 p.m, so we saw like a waterfall, and we actually visited a nearby railway bridge, 9 Arch Bridge, which was pretty good, but the light conditions were pretty crap. So yeah, I had to make the best of what I had, but I think I got some images that I was relatively happy with. So yeah, all in all, it wasn't too bad an introduction to the area. But tomorrow is what I'm particularly excited about, because we're getting up again at 5 a.m. to drive out to a place called Lipton, which sits about an hour and a half from here. And that's well known for its stunning views out towards the south coast of Sri Lanka, and also its tea plantations. Well, you probably guessed that from the name. So yeah, another early start, but I'm hoping it's going to be worth it. Getting up this morning to visit Lipton was well worth it. The landscapes here are absolutely exceptional, and we've been blessed with really clear weather today, so the views are absolutely superb and totally unobscured, so that's fantastic. We got a tuk-tuk up to the top to the main viewpoint, and we got there about 7 a.m. To be honest, the views right from the top out over the southern plains were impressive, but they weren't really conducive to good photography, I didn't think. However, we've since decided to walk the 8 kilometers back down the winding roads that go through the tea plantations, and I have to say, it's absolutely superb. It's far better than the actual viewpoint at the top. There's so many photographic compositions here, it's unreal. It's a little bit kind of overwhelming, really. I don't even know where to look. I'm kind of yeah, my mind's a bit blown by this place. But I have to say, other than the occasional taxi that's going past, this place and this walk is probably one of the most serene and peaceful I've ever done. It's yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. So I've probably taken close to 100 pictures so far, and I'm not even halfway down through the walk through the tea plantations. So yeah, it's photographic gold here, really. I'm not particularly sure what compositions stand out for me most so far either, to be honest. It's only when I'll get home that I'll know which particular shots really shine for me. But there's just so much potential here. The foregrounds of the tea are just beautiful, but you also get these really beautiful sort of abstract sort of shapes. You can see it down here through the actual tea itself, and it creates wonderful, interesting foregrounds in the shots. And then you've got these really dramatic mountains out in the background, and yeah, they're absolute dynamite when it comes to landscape photography. So yeah, I would say in Sri Lanka so far, out of all the places I've been, this is, for landscape photography, the standout place so far. I'm now back in Ella after finishing my trek at Lipton, and I have to say it was one of the best walks I've done in a very long time.
It was just so beautiful, and from a photography perspective it was outstanding. I think I was actually starting to drive Jenny, my other half, crazy because I was stopping every 2 seconds to take pictures. I could see that look on her face, that look of fury. She loved the walk as well, but obviously she doesn't want to be stopping every 2 seconds to watch me set up my tripod and shoot off some shots. But yeah, these are the balances you have to strike when you come on these kind of holidays. But yeah, overall it was a wonderful, wonderful trip. I was mostly using the tripod for focus stacking. I was trying to get the foreground tea leaves in sharp focus, but then also get the background in sharp focus. So yeah, I took quite a few shots with the focus stacking technique. So hopefully that'll pay dividends when I take these images to post-processing. I would say it's definitely the highlight of Sri Lanka so far for me. Photographically it was outstanding. So yeah, I'm just back at my guest house now, and look at the view behind me. This place is unbelievable. I found myself just taking lots of brilliant landscape compositions simply from my hotel room, which is just here. Unbelievable, amazing. So this afternoon we've got a few hours till sunset, so we're literally just gonna set off and go to the top of a nearby peak called Little Adams Peak. It's quite a short hike. I think it's only like an hour or so, so it's probably not going to take us all too long. But yeah, hopefully there'll be some more compositions available to me on the way and from the top. So yeah, let's get cracking. You may notice that I'm wearing a strange garment in today's vlog entry. Yes, I actually have a jumper on. We've changed location yet again, and it's brought a brand new climate. We've now come to Adams Peak, which is in the mountains of Sri Lanka. It's the third highest mountain. It's quite a sacred mountain, and we're planning to ascend that for sunrise, setting off at about 2 in the morning tonight. You can actually see Adams Peak behind me, just up there. Looks quite magnificent, but the climate up here is quite cold and temperate, which is actually quite a relief considering the shockingly hot weather we've had in some of the other locations we've been visiting. So yeah, it's a welcome relief. Today essentially we got up quite early and boarded a train from Ella that went all the way through to NIKKOR. That's how you pronounce it. The train lasted about 3 hours in total, and it was a fantastic way to kind of take in the actual landscapes of the hills and mountains of Sri Lanka. It was just wonderful. We didn't actually manage to get a seat, but we stood for the entire journey, but it actually went relatively quickly. I spent the whole time just gawping out the window at the views. It was pretty incredible. From a photography perspective, probably quite limiting. I didn't even use the D850. I was frankly too scared to. A lot of the actual best compositions and shots involved putting your equipment in quite precarious situations, and frankly I wasn't prepared to do that. So yeah, I didn't even get it out. I actually just used the 200D to just shoot a few pictures, but mostly actually took video work. But it wasn't even particularly about the photography, it was the experience, and it was fantastic, and I think it's a must do if you come to Sri Lanka. The scenery along the way is absolutely stupendous. It's the kind of journey that you can actually do multiple times and see something different every time you take the same train. So I've just come out into the tea estates which surround the little village that I'm staying at the bottom of Adams Peak, which is just down the road there. I've just come out to explore this area because it's really picturesque. I haven't particularly come very far, but you don't particularly need to. it's just really nice to be out and about and actually see Adams Peak for the first time. But it's raining at the moment, so I can't particularly go too far. It's kind of on and off, and it's quite heavy, and it's brought out an army of leeches. So if you see me checking down periodically during this video, it's to make sure I'm not being eaten alive. Yeah, they're quite savage. But yeah, tomorrow's hike should be good. Really looking forward to it. It'll be 3 hours up, 3 hours down. So yeah, it's going to be a nice step change from the fairly laid back and activity shy itinerary we've had so far. But yeah, these are the kind of activities that I come traveling for. So yeah, should be brilliant. That brings to a close this vlog entry. My next vlog entry will entirely focus on Adams Peak. So yeah, that should be interesting. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week, where hopefully I've got to the top of that mountain over there. Goodbye.